Hello everybody, Maven here, and it's that time again. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you already know about my infamous TRITON Vice build. I've covered it in 2 other videos before. It's one of my greatest creations of all time. There's no other build like it. And if you've never seen it before, I highly recommend clicking that link that just popped up in the top right corner. If it didn't pop up, then I'll also link it down below in the description. And you'll see what I mean when I say this is probably one of the most rabid and aggressive ad clear builds of all time. And today we're returning to it yet again because we got our hands on a brand new glaive, and that is the Forthcoming Deviance glaive from the Salvation's Edge raid. I finally got it crafted, so I just had to return to this build. Now, for those who have never seen my TRITON Vice build, it's a glaive build that is not a glaive build. What I mean by that is that we're not actually ever meleeing with the glaive. So we're using the glaive as an entirely different entity. It's like a completely different weapon type when you're using it on this build. We're using it strictly for the projectile 99% of the time, which you might think is strange because the TRITON Vice gives you such great buffs to your glaive melee. Gives you a plus 100% glaive melee damage bonus when you are surrounded, and also final blows with the glaive melee overflow your glaive's magazine. But trust me, the ability that says that your glaive projectiles explode is far more worth it. That's where the real ad clear comes from. And for those who don't know, the TRITON Vice also got a bit of a rework in the final shape. You no longer have to be on a subclass element that matches your glaive's element in order for the TRITON Vice to make your glaive projectiles explode. And that opens up the doors for so many more build crafting ideas with the TRITON Vice that none of us have even thought of yet. So with that being said, I can pretty much guarantee that I'll be continuing to build craft with the TRITON Vice in the future. But as for today, I know Prismatic's a hot topic right now, but we're actually doing the build on Void. So let's break it down. Hope you enjoy. So I guess the first question is, why Void? Well, because the Forthcoming Deviance is a Void glaive, so we can take advantage of volatile rounds. And as some of you may know, the theme of the TRITON Vice build is the bigger the boom, the better. So we are getting volatile rounds via the Echo of Instability fragment. Grenade kills give us volatile rounds. So yes, this is a 100 discipline build that is taking advantage of Devour from Echo of Starvation, because final blows while Devour is active grant you grenade energy. But our glaive also has enhanced demolitionist to build into that as well. So you might have seen in the background gameplay just how stupidly fast we get our grenade back with all these things combined. So we can easily have 100% uptime of volatile rounds if we wanted to. So let's put this all together. We get the volatile explosions, the TRITON Vice glaive projectile explosions, and finally, enhanced chain reaction on our glaive all at the same time, making this a very explosive combination. And yes, this is the first glaive ever to get chain reaction. So let me show you a few examples of the different levels of explosiveness. So here's a run through of Breakneck just with the chain reaction glaive alone, no TRITON Vice, no volatile rounds. And even though chain reaction did receive a nerf this season, it still ain't bad. As you can see, it's still capable of colliding trash mobs. This chain reaction nerf is the reason Bungie got ambitious and decided to put it on a glaive and a shotgun this season. And I would really enjoy it if they put it on more weird archetypes as well. I think it'd be cool if they put it on a bow along with incandescent. Anyways, you get the idea. So let's move on and add TRITON Vice to the mix as well. And right away, you can see just how much more explosive it is with these two things combined together. We took out that entire first cluster of trash mobs in just 2 shots. And I'm sure you see why I call this a very rabid and aggressive ad clear build. It doesn't let up, it goes in, it goes hard, rooms of enemies just drop. In Destiny 2, mobs tend to spawn in clumps like this. So it's nice knowing that you can just absolutely obliterate them effortlessly with this setup. Volatile rounds or not, this is more than enough. But since you waited so patiently and definitely didn't skip through the video, let's add volatile rounds to the mix. So this is volatile rounds, TRITON Vice, and chain reaction together. And yeah, it kind of just blows up entire rooms. That's just what the TRITON Vice build is built to do. The other version I covered in my previous 2 build videos for it, I was on Arc, and I used the Unexpected Resurgence glaive with Volt Shot and Spark of Beacons. And that version was definitely nuttier in terms of ad clear potential, because personally I feel Jolt is better than volatile rounds, and Spark of Beacons blinded anything that survived. But where this Void version shines is survivability, by a long shot. Not only is Devour super easy to get and heals us on final blows, but we also have the stylish executioner aspect to make us invis after every kill while we have volatile rounds going. And of course we are using the scatter grenade to proc that instability faster. Vortex may be the better nade overall, but in terms of picking up a final blow to proc volatile rounds quickly, magnetic and scatter grenades definitely work better and also have a quicker base cooldown. Now let's talk about our mod setup real quick. I'm gonna sound like a broken record to those who are regular viewers of this channel because I've explained this infinite special ammo setup so many times that I've lost count. But yeah, we will never run out of special ammo with this setup, which is basically just a copy of charged up on the chest, stacks and stacks on the boots, and special ammo finisher on the class item. So here's how this mod setup works. Picture a scenario where you got 4 stacks of armor charge and you consume 3 to do a special finisher and create a special brick. You're gonna be left with 1 armor charge left, right? So you just gotta find 1 orb of power because of stacks on stacks, and you'll be put back up to 3 armor charge, and you'll have enough to perform a special finisher again. So you can basically spam it back to back like that. Whenever you do a build strictly based around a special weapon, this is a great setup to run to ensure you never run out of ammo. So all we really have to do is make orbs, which we're doing via Reaper, Firepower, and Void Siphon. And while we're here, might as well explain the rest of the mods. Got double heavy finder on the helmet, we got a void loader for our glaive, we got bolstering detonation so we get some class ability when we cause damage with a nade, got a void reserve for our glaive as well as our edge transit, and then we have a resist you can swap out depending on the activity you're doing. We have absolution on the boots, we pick up orbs, we get ability cooldown. We have void scavenger just for the heck of it, you can put whatever you want here though. And then we have powerful attraction on our class item to scoop up orbs around us when we dodge. And for our weapons, like I said, my heavy of choice is the edge transit with envious and bait because it's the best legendary heavy in the game right now. And then for my kinetic primary, I have the Kvostov, but you can swap this out to whatever primary you need to stun a champion. We never really pull this weapon out anyway since we're just using our glaive almost all the time. And the other 2 fragments I didn't explain before are obscurity to go invis on a finisher, which is obviously nice because we're spamming special ammo finishers, and finally persistence just to stay invis longer. Stat wise, I would recommend going double hundreds in resilience and discipline while maintaining a minimum of tier 3 intellect and tier 2 strength, and then try to reach tier 9 mobility if you can. So that about does it for the build, and on to the gameplay loop. It's quite simple, just nade whenever you get the chance, dodge to auto reload your glaive whenever you get the chance, and just run around shooting stuff with your glaive. It's simple as that. Between your dodge and your stupidly fast grenade cooldown, you basically never have to reload your glaive manually, and I definitely wasn't taking advantage of that enough in the background gameplay. Now I definitely feel there's something to be done with the TRITON Vice on Prismatic that I just haven't thought of yet. Before this glaive, I just felt like Void was the right call because you can't deny the power of those volatile rounds and the Devour. That's something that you can't get on Prismatic. But anyways, give this build a try. I highly recommend it. It really puts in the work in anything that's not like a raid boss encounter. And to a degree, Grandmaster Nightfalls, but believe it or not, you can actually use it in GMs if there is a glaive champion mod. And I have actually done that before many times. A lot of us have used glaives and Grandmasters back when there was unstoppable glaives. So whenever that scenario comes up again, this is definitely a build that you can actually use. Because you gotta remember, when you block with your glaive shield, it blocks like 90-something% of damage. It basically makes you invincible. So I've used it in like Grandmaster Proving Grounds, just like stand in the face of a champion and just block their damage all day long while my teammates pick them off from afar. So don't count it out for Grandmasters. It's just such a reliable build for survivability and ad clear. You always know it's going to demolish everything in your path. Honestly, an extremely sleeper build that should see more play, but people just don't know about it. So as always, I'll leave a dim loadout link to the build down below in the description, and also the pinned comment if you'd like to give it a try. And if you got anybody who are hunter mains, I'd appreciate if you share the video with them. I'm sure they'd find it enjoyable. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you drop a like and a comment because doing those things really helps out the algorithm and goes a long way. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here on this journey to 100K. And with that, I will catch you in the next video. See you later.